What's going on, everyone? TM24 here, and we are back with some more Marvel Snap content. Now, today, I was just scrolling through YouTube, watching some videos, and we got an update. So, actually, this is going to be the developer update for Marvel Snap. So, we're going to watch this together. I'm going to stop it every now and then just to give you my thoughts and feelings on it, but let's dive right in. I'm excited to see what they got coming up for April of 2023. So, let's go.
Deep in the ocean lies a beast with insatiable hunger, ready to
Okay.
assemble its wild pack. Wait a minute, is that?
Oh,
Yes,
it's Jeff. We kind of knew Jeff was coming.
No ID needed. Jeff the baby.
All right, so we kind of knew Jeff was coming. We had heard and we had seen some things. It looks like the sandbar, though. Cards with abilities can't be played here. That's probably going to be a location. So I would assume that there's going to be another new location, of course. Probably a couple. But so far we see Jeff, and we see that there's going to be a new location. I am going to turn down a little bit. It was a little bit loud, but let's get right back in.
Land shark goes where he pleases. Animals assemble. Cosmo. Goose. Hit Mookie. Look out, Jeff.
Okay, so it looks like they're going to be showing off a few other cards and some new variants, obviously. I think we just saw a Goose and a Cosmo variant. That Cosmo one looks sick. That's definitely one that I'm going to try and get if I can. The Goose one looks pretty good as well. She's kind of cute, little, but a little bit ferocious knowing what Goose is. And then it looks like this right here is going to be another location. So, this turn, all cards must be played here. Kind of similar to, what's the location where you can only play cards here on turn 5? Or on turn 5, all cards must be played here. Something like that, but I guess it could happen at any turn or whatever turn it's revealed. I don't see that being a huge deal or huge problem. It's just a decent location, but we definitely saw at least a few different cards there, so hopefully they kind of get into it a little bit more here. Oh yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. So it sounds like they're going with like an Animals Assemble kind of theme for this season, and I love it. Who's gonna dislike animals being in there? We've got Jeff, Cosmo, Goose, and then we got Hitmonkey, and I'm not quite sure what that other one is. So we're gonna have to see a little bit more. But I love the idea of having an Animals Assemble theme. I think that's gonna be really cool, and let's see what else they got for us. Lots of animals. Actually, let's pause it right there just because I want to go back a little bit. I want to pause it. I didn't go back far enough. Right here. So it looks like I'm not sure if those are going to be new cards or just animals dressed up as certain people. I mean, you can see Captain America, Mr. Fantastic, Ant-Man. So that's Thor, of course. I wonder if these are going to be new types of cards or different variants. Maybe it's going to be different variants. I don't know. That's interesting to see. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be completely separate cards. Maybe they're variants. I'm not really sure, but I definitely like the idea of the Animals Assemble here. So we'll let this go again.
It's Ben Brode. I'm super excited for this season.
I just want to say I love Ben Brode. I've loved him since the Hearthstone days. He's awesome. He seems like a great guy. But really excited that he was a part of this team for Marvel Snap, which is why I kind of got into the game. I loved what he did with Hearthstone, so I've kind of followed him a little bit here, and the fact that he's involved with Marvel Snap I think is awesome for the future of the game.
Of Marvel Snap. This season is Animals Assemble, and it's all about
Okay, that's what we thought.
furry friends. The Ryan Gonzalez variants for Goose and Cosmo look amazing, and Jeff the baby land shark is sure.
All right, so we saw the variants there, and we see Jeff as well. You can move this once. Nothing can stop you from moving or playing this to any location. Okay, it's 2-3.
To be your new best bud. We got a ton of new cards coming to Marvel Snap this month, including Stegron, who swats away.
All right, we got Stegron. On reveal, move an enemy card from here to another location. So kind of like a delayed Juggernaut. You know, Juggernaut moves it randomly. Stegron will be moving a card from that lane somewhere else. That could be interesting. Definitely, I could see that being super useful. Not quite sure, you know, what's going to be the best route to use it, but I could see it definitely disrupting cards. You know, maybe single lanes. Obviously, this would have to be, it'd have to on reveal. Well, I guess I don't know. Maybe it can reveal 4 before and still go off, even if the other card's not revealed. I guess I'm not quite sure. We need to see some more before we go here, but I think that could end up being a pretty solid card. You could break up, you know, if they've got Ant-Man, Mojo type lane, you could break that up. You know, if they got one card in a certain lane trying to hold it down, you can always shoot that to a different lane. So I could see it being pretty good and having some uses. But let's see what else he's got to say.
Away a card at this location, moving it to another location. Snowguard, who's super fun. Each turn she shifts into bear or hawk form, and you can choose whether you want to double down on the location or turn them off for a turn. Jeff the baby.
All right, just want to back up a little bit to see that Snowguard. That was the one I was unfamiliar with. So let's just take a look at what they've got going on here. Passive. While in your hand, this transforms each turn into a hawk or a bear. Snowguard Bear. On reveal, trigger the effect of this location. Snowguard Hawk. On reveal, ignore all location abilities next turn. Ooh, I kind of like that. What are the stat differences? Let's just let him play through this again.
Super fun. Each turn she shifts into bear or.
Are they? They're just 1/2s. Okay, they're just 1/2s, so it's a 1 cost, and either ignore all the location abilities next turn, or on reveal, trigger the effect of this location. I could see that being pretty fun. I could see that being very, very useful. It seems like it's going to be a really, really strong 1-drop here.
And you can choose whether you want to double down on the location or turn them off for a turn. Jeff the baby land shark. Is this the cutest card we've ever made? Certainly. Nothing can stop you from playing Jeff wherever you want. Whether you've got Ebony Maw, Professor X, or Storm, you can play Jeff there.
That was pretty cool. So you can play it on top of a Professor X or an Ebony Maw lane. That seems really, that seems strong. That seems like it could be really strong. Granted, he's only 3 power, so how strong it's going to be, we're not really sure. But it seems like it's pretty good. It seems like it's pretty good.
And you can also move Jeff once, just in case you didn't get it just right the first time. Move Jeff into any location. Nothing stops Jeff. Jeff is very lovable, and he'll be joining Series 5 along with Stegron and Snowguard.
That seems pretty strong.
But
Jeff
also
seems really good.
Pass card. Hit Monkey. Hit Monkey gets +2 power for each other card you've played.
All right. Hit Monkey is the season card. On reveal, gain +2 power for each other card you played this turn. 2-0. I wonder how wild this can go. In a deck like you know, like a bounce deck with Beast and Hawk and Falcon, where you're playing a bunch of low cost cards, 1-drops. I could see him getting pretty insane. You know, combo him with Mysterio, and that's like 3 cards. So I wonder if that counts. And you know, all of a sudden he's a 2/6. So I could see Hit Monkey being pretty strong. I think he's definitely going to give a little bit more power to those bounce decks that already, you know, they saw some play last season with, you know, the Darkhawk variant. So maybe this is going to be another tool in that deck to help you win some games. But I think Hit Monkey could be pretty good here.
This turn, it is great with cards like Beast, Falcon that bounce cards to your hand, cards like Mysterio that counters 3 cards played every time you play it, and Sarah that reduces cards.
Look at that. That's an 11 power already, and he just confirmed the Mysterio. Of course, he's playing it with Beast and Falcon, so that totally makes sense. Definitely some synergy with Sarah as well, but yeah, you know, Hit Monkey is just going to be another tool in that deck. You could have huge Angelas, huge Falcons, or not Falcons, huge Bishops, and then Hit Monkey is just going to be another tool. So I think that deck just got, I think it just got better. How much better, I'm not quite sure yet, but the fact that it works with Mysterio as well, I could see there definitely being some room for Hitmonkey in some of these decks.
in your hand's cost. But it's also great with cards that benefit from having a lot of other cards played, like Bishop and Angela.
Yeah,
We also have
exactly.
2 new locations debuting this month. The Pet Avengers Mansion.
Pet Avengers Mansion. This turn, all cards must be played here. Okay, that's exactly like we thought. We saw that little sign, so I mean that makes sense.
They're so cute, you have to play there this turn. And the Sandbar, where it's time to relax.
Whoa.
Cards with abilities.
Sandbar. Cards with abilities can't be played here. So only cards with no ability can be played there. So you're talking Patriot style cards. That's interesting. Because unless you're running like a Patriot style deck, almost every card that you're going to play is going to have some sort of ability. So that really makes me wonder, hopefully, it's definitely something to consider. I don't know if you build your decks any differently, given that location. I mean, you can't build for each location, right? So you probably just ignore it, but I could definitely see that being a big hindrance. Just another one of those locations that is really going to affect your ability to play there. And you have no way of changing it because those cards would have abilities. I'm assuming you could play Jeff there because he said nothing can stop Jeff. So if you've got, you could get one card there. And other than that, I guess you got to treat it like a lane that's been stormed. I don't know. That's interesting.
Are allowed. Oh, my voice is going a little bit. I had a little bit of a wild week.
All right, we're going to close it up there. I did watch the rest of it. They just kind of go into how he, they went to a conference or something, and he was worried about his ability to speak. But just kind of looking back at, let's actually scroll back to the video real quick, and we'll look at some of those cards, and just kind of give some final verdicts on what we think on these cards. So first off, let's look at these variants, right? So we've got the Goose variant here. I like that variant. I think it looks really nice. It's clean. But overall, I think the Cosmo variant is a bit nicer. Like, I want that one. I want to be able to get that one either inked or in gold. That would look amazing. That Cosmo looks really, really nice. And now on to some of the cards. Here's Jeff. Jeff, like I said, I feel like he is going to have his uses. I think he's going to be a pretty good include, just maybe as like a filler card. He's not a card that you build around, but definitely a card that you can pop in there as a 2-drop and feel pretty good. A lot of times when I'm building my decks, I'm looking at, the cost of cards. And when it comes to like 2-drops, you're looking at the ones that are the best, unless you're looking for like a specific, or you're building a specific deck. The cards like Angela and Zabu really stand out as being a little bit better than most of the other 2-drops. And I feel like Jeff might be able to kind of get in there as an option in some of those decks where maybe Angela or Zabu don't fit or don't make sense, where he could be like a nice filler. Armor is another one. Armor feels like almost like an auto include in most decks. But I feel like Jeff can be a pretty good card to kind of slot into some decks and gives you a little bit extra flexibility. So I love that. I think he's going to be a pretty solid card overall. And then we've got Stegron. We talked about him a little bit. Moving an enemy card from here to another location. We'll see how that plays out. 4/5. It feels a little bit weak for 4, but maybe with some discounts or something like that, you can break up, a lane that they've already got. So it's definitely got some like surprise value, shock value to it. I think it's going to be solid overall. I don't think it's going to be, top of of like a tier list or anything like that, but I think it's going to be solid. It's probably going to be an okay card to include, maybe a little bit more niche, but definitely solid. And then Snowguard. I think Snowguard's going to be really, really good. The passive while in your hand, which actually, let's talk about that as well. I think that's the first time we've seen like a passive ability. So this card is constantly changing while in your hand, and you've got essentially 2 cards in one. So it definitely gives you some flexibility and can definitely, like he said, either add power or help you get into a lane that maybe you otherwise wouldn't. And, maybe it can help you get into that that location that, only cards with no abilities can get into. So that could be huge. So Snow Guard might end up being one of the better one drops that we see. It's only 1/2, so it competes on the level with Iceman, Korg, Yondu, things like that. Doesn't have the upside of like a Sunspot, but I think its flexibility kind of puts it up there, kind of in that range with those cards. I think I'd feel comfortable swapping this in and out with cards like those. So I think Snow Guard's going to be really strong. Yeah, and those are the different looks on it versus the bear versus the hawk. I think that those are awesome. And I think that's everything that we wanted to kind of talk about. So overall, I am super excited for this upcoming season. I'm definitely going to get my hands on Hitmonkey and see what we can do, see if we can have some fun with them. But until next time, remember, have some fun.